Of course, with Airbus, our neighbor, or maybe we are the neighbor of Airbus in Hamburg-Finkenwerder. So we are glad to have you here and to connect with you because you want to talk about the Airbus connected cabin experience, isn't it?
Exactly, that's what it is about.
Please, it's your floor and your red carpet.
Thank you. So, good afternoon to everybody. Hope you all enjoyed your networking lunch and did connect to somebody you didn't know so far. And this is what I want to talk about today as well, about the Airbus Connected Experience. Actually, an innovation concept for cabin to create a future passenger experience. And if you look at this, this is definitely not our future cockpit. This is what you just find today in terms of IoT, Internet of Things, on the ground, in the car, for instance, or at your home. So this is happening already. And we have been inspired by that. And I want to share today with you what we see as opportunities on board of our aircrafts to create a much more personal experience for the passenger in the future by simply connecting those dots in the aircraft, as you see it here. But before we go into the details of the solution, I want to talk a little bit about our approach, about the why and how we have done it, and in the end, talk about the details of the solution that we are working on. So let's start with our cabin brand, Airspace. This is what we have today in the market, flying, and with A320 coming next year with the launch customer JetBlue, first time also into the single aisle. The Airspace cabin, as you see it here, is flying already, as I said, on the A330neos, and we have 3 of them delivered to TAP. So you can experience the 330 and, of course, the 350, as we have 240 aircrafts flying already. And it's hard to see the difference, but these are 330 and 350. And this is exactly what it is about. We want to create a consistent experience in the cabin for the passengers, no matter if they fly a 320, a 330, or a 350. Clearly, leading design lineage, we have won the famous Red Dot Award for that. And as I said, flying already, and we are growing and growing and ramping it up in the market. This is all based on our product DNA. This is the Airspace DNA, where we defined, driven by customer needs, with tangible benefits for the passengers and airlines, but also in terms of competition, so that we clearly can show the differences and that we have leading products. And that's why we also clearly named them here, where we are always leading. Just a couple of examples. So unique welcome. We want to have a welcome area for the passenger in the aircraft that is unique for the airline. Not only for us as a manufacturer for Airbus, no, for the airline. Everyone should be different and unique and remarkable that you never forget when you enter an aircraft. Quieter cabin, for instance. Maybe not known, but we have in all classes always the quietest cabin. Neither it's a 320, 330, there's a 78 or 777, or of course 350 and 380, leading quietness in the cabin. And this is something up to 3-4 decibel difference. It's about double the noise energy that you experience in a long-range flight. So that is a real tangible benefit for passengers. Coming to comfort items, we always offer the biggest bin space. And this you find out when you rush into the aircraft and find a space for your bag. And we identified this is maybe not the best today in a single aisle. There's always not enough. And that's why we have improved that by 40%. And with the new Airspace, the cabin that I showed you coming next year, this will be 40% bigger bags and 60% more bags in that cabin. to really target that goal, which is bigger storage always. Same thing for personal space. We have 18-inch seats. We want to offer also best space for passengers also in economy class. Smart solutions, I think, are necessary to really apply that in an efficient way. And just a couple of examples, what the DNA is about, to have the leading product in competition, the leading cabin elements, the leading cabin products. And in order to stay on the top, we continuously have to innovate. And this is part of the talk today. So if we innovate, first of all, we look at trends. There are a couple of things coming up daily in the news about new products, about new services that you see here coming up, like the latest news from Apex about the new virtual reality game that you can play together on board or at home and with friends or whatever guests on board. So all of this we collect, and we have a strong trend team here in Hamburg. I'm also sitting here with Axel and Nick, and they're really searching, collecting those topics, do a lot of market research, do passenger research, and then filter what is relevant. Because a lot of things coming up come and go. Yeah, but what stays longer? What is a trend that we need to pick up and really apply as a product in our future cabins? And what we deliver is what we call Trend Space. That's a document, by the way, also available maybe in the break outside there for you, where we have done a 360 market analysis, where we have 23 cabin market trends described on a one-pager in 4 trend clusters in order to predict topics that might be relevant for future cabins. So Trend Tool is really to look out far in the future and focus on the right topics and develop the right solutions. One of them, and usually it starts on ground, is the mobile revolution on ground. And what you see here, I think everybody is aware about smartphones. This is a real mobile revolution around the globe. And we have in 2020, and this is next year, right, 6.1 billion smartphone users. You know how many global population we have in 2020? 7.8 billion. So it's amazing. It's a mega trend, what we call it. And this is why this was picked up as well, of course, for not only the passenger connectivity, also the airline connectivity. And what we see finally taking off for our aircrafts is the equipment with connectivity services on board is taking off. As you see here, from 5,000 to 16, 10 years later, we have about 16,000 aircraft equipped with connectivity services. Half of it, or 2/3 of single-aisle market. These services, of course, enable a lot of new opportunities for airlines. And if you look at the airline connectivity in 2007, and 10 years later, this is a very strong reflection of this mega trend. In 2017, we had more than 100 airlines offering connectivity services. You see, that really arrived in the aviation industry. It's a real mega trend that we want to focus on more in more detail today about the seamless connectivity on board of an aircraft. So let's have a look at the passenger and his mobile devices. Number one is smartphone users, as this is the mobile companion everybody has on board and uses it for the entire booking of the trip. And what you see here is it's between 45 to 60% in average using the device for the entire trip. There's only one exception. I would not say Hamburg, yeah, I would say Germany is at the far end with 27%. Don't know why. Anyhow, mega trend using the smartphones for everything. A little bit more in detail, as I just said, smartphones, 83% of all travelers bring a smartphone on board and use it. 46% bring a laptop, 39% a tablet, and at least 15%, all three of them. So this is a strong trend we see happening in the aircrafts, and people want to use it. And it's even stronger, the message below. More than 50% of all their travelers make that as decision criteria for our airline selection. It's not only the price anymore. No, it's the services they offer that they can use their devices on board. So this is a must-have for the future and, to be honest, already today. So if you look at what devices in terms of content interface is preferred for the customer, and what we see here is the customer wants to have the choice, reflecting in a multi-screen usage on board. So most of them still use the in-seat seat back with 48%, but at least 33%, a third of everybody, uses their own devices. So bring your own device and in-seat screen, multi-screen usage. That is what we expect also in the future. What if you look at the airlines? I think the airlines see clearly opportunities how they can use the connectivity to create a better, a new, a different. It's about differentiation. Make a service that you can offer and differentiate yourself from your competition. I think that is the biggest lever they see today. And even passengers are very willing today to share their data because they expect a better service. And if they like what they get, if they share their data, they're open and willingness to share. On average, we have 27% is the figure that consumers are willing to share. To be honest, I think that those are the 27% of younger people. I don't share anything. My kids share everything. So maybe they'll find out the problems later. If we ask again our customers, as we continuously do in order to prioritize our topics, again here we got a clear direction and a confirmation that a connectivity trend is a strong one. So out of 10 topics we offered, they selected exactly the 3 ones that are referring to connectivity: digital traveler, personalized passenger experience, and onboard connectivity. So that's why we are clearly sure to get a strong guidance that we need to explore that in more detail. And that's why I'm developing in the moment this concept about the airspace connected experience. So let's see what this is about. Actually, a very simple idea. So it's about connecting the things in the cabin and the relevant things where you can have or create value with, like the bin, like the seat, like the lavatory, the cargo, the galley, screens, and more. So actually it is an open ecosystem with all these elements that need to be smart enabled, E-enabled. Of course, those elements, product elements, need to be able to deliver some information, to be added some sensors, to be added an electronic interface that then we collect with our standard backbone all that data and make it easy to analyze it for the airline in order really to provide a more personalized experience for the passenger in the end. Use the data in order to enrich the experience. Important that we need to have an open ecosystem. The more partners we can integrate, the more attractive it will be in the end for the end user and the airline as well. So let's have a look at the benefits by collecting this data and providing this to an airline operation. We see 3 strong segments in terms of benefits. One is the operational efficiency. It's clearly about getting costs down. Second is about ancillary revenues, getting revenues up, and we heard that before this morning, always a target, not surprisingly. But in the end, it's also about the passenger experience, and this is the driver of it all. If you can create a differentiation in the experience and passengers love it, they will increase loyalty, and they will come back to you because they get at your airline a service that is different and what they like and prefer. And I think this is the major driver for all of it. If you can do something different, something better in the service in the end for the passenger, this will pay back. Maybe some ideas for the operational efficiency. What you see here is predictive maintenance. That is a very straightforward idea. Just monitor all the data of all the equipment, all the systems, and only exchange it when they are just before failing. And you can predict, because you have hundreds of them flying, and see, now it's time to do it. So to fly it as long as possible, then change it, 100% availability, no failure. That is the idea. Cabin crew operations, some easy things to save time. So where's the last Coke? In what galley, in what trolley, where do I find it? Today it takes quite long, and maybe you don't find it at all. Here you simply get in the system and say, oh, in this G1 numbers over storage standard unit, there is it. Go in, take it, done. Fast delivery, passenger happy, crew happy. Turnaround times. Again, you can do all the maintenance in a predictive way. Collect all the items you want to change or want to repair during a turnaround, prepare for that turnaround and do it. Or simple things like faster boarding and deboarding, possible because of the bins that we have installed that are now smart. Today they are too small, tomorrow they are smart and bigger. So personalized in-flight services, retail, personal in-flight retail, as well as what we call tailored advertisement. It's clearly potential for ancillary revenues. As you understand your passenger, you have CRM data that you combine with the last usage things. You combine it with the destination he's flying to. You have all that history and combine it with some predictive big data tools. You offer to him the right product he's interested in. So I'm a typical ABC wine drinker, so don't offer to me any Chardonnay, anything but Chardonnay. So they should know that. So, and same things for sports events. Maybe you can sell him a ticket, because you know he's a sport event and you're flying a destination, they're playing tomorrow. So things like that, you need to be smart and clever and offer the right things, then you will sell more. And then you have an advertisement, you make a lot of more money with. New services. As I talked about the bin, for instance. Smart bin, you can manage the space. So you can pre-book the space. You're coming with a family, you know that you maybe need more space, 3 or 4 bags, reserve it. Of course, this is also a revenue generation tool, but passengers are happy, airline is happy. If you could manage the space, this is your space. Put your luggage in, it's reserved for you, just as one idea. Coming to passenger experience, definitely personalized catering. We saw that before on ground, that you can pre-order. Of course, you can do that also for the flight. Pre-order, maybe pre-order from the restaurants you like in that destination, or from that where you're starting from. Individual comfort settings, a lot easier on a seat where you're sitting. Get the right position for comfort, for relax, for sleeping. Get the temperature setting in the way you want it. And maybe the mood colors. It's maybe not blue, it's maybe pink or green, whatever. Whatever your choice is. And it could be preset if you arrive already. But in a smart way, so it's not something that affects you and oops. Don't welcome him with a name and things like that. In the system, this is unpersonal. No, but if the crew comes up and welcomes you with the name, and know about the little details that make the difference. Maybe you are left-handed, and they provide you something that helps you for that. Or maybe they offer you the right movies in the systems that you are interested in, latest releases on those. So a lot of possibilities and opportunities to really have differentiating services because of the data that you are aware of. So let's zoom in one of these use cases. And I only do 2, not everything. Don't be afraid. One is the connected galley. So what can we do with a connected galley? And we did some brainstorming, also with partners of the galley or caterers and airlines. And so let's have a look in some details. Maybe it starts on the left side with some remote ordering. So you can order your beverage or your food from your seat with the in-seat system, or you can order it with your own device. It gets directly to the crew, and this for them is only a one-way service, and not two-way. It's not coming to your seat, going back, bringing you back and forth. No, go directly, get the thing what you want. It's fast, everybody's happy. Or get it on the crew device, that you have a handheld on board for every crew member, and the order could be on that. You can tip it in or direct give it into the galley. So the espresso is brewed freshly, remote in the galley. You go there, it's ready, you take it delivered. Things like that are possible if we connect and enable those functions in the galley. If you come to the right side, very straightforward, predictive maintenance, as we talked about before. Yeah? All the elements you can monitor. But also about safety items. So just before landing, always hectic and coming on, get things done, and maybe you just missed to close one of the latches. And then sometimes you hear the noise, then yeah? If one door is open. This you can avoid easily. Just get a signal, there's one latch, red. And last but not least, about electronic catering inventory management. Today you have this nice list printed out where you find what in the galley, then they had a catering problem and they put it in the wrong position, or maybe even brought the wrong stuff. No, here you just put it in, you have an electronic signal, you get exactly what's on board and where do you find it. Is something left? Is that availability done? So a lot easier, makes life for crew in terms of operation a lot better. Just some starting ideas. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more possible. And I'm happy if you contribute and have ideas and become part of the ecosystem and further develop those use cases. Last use case I want to talk about is the connected lavatory. And don't be afraid, I'm not talking about lavatory experiences, but maybe a short story from my old time at the airline, where we needed to find out what is the right ratio of lavatories for a single-aisle flight for 2 hours or for a single-aisle flight for 4 hours. So how many usages do you plan? How many lavatories per passengers for a short or longer flight? Yeah? And the solution was we hired 2 students, ideas on the lavatories. So you see here the connected experience, as I explained it, and we zoom in the galley, the lavatory, which is then connected automatically via Skywise to the ground, can deliver all the data in terms of experience, maintenance, passenger, crew, and airline needs. It starts in your seat. It's very easy to find out what is the free lavatory I want to go to. Get directed, you see where you want to go. There you get welcomed, actually you get recognized. It's you and your environment will change. So the environment inside will be different for you. Your colors, your mood, your noise level, your patterns on the wall, so you can select your style in terms of design. But you also get some information. You have a smart mirror in here that gives you information about the time, the destination, the health. Maybe you need some health support. And you have some problems on the flight, here you can get help via your assistant Eve with voice control, which you also find in cars a lot. You know, you don't touch it anymore in the lavatories. It's also a hygiene issue. Just use the voice control, and flash is done without touching. Of course, you also can use the bigger screen, which is an OLED screen for advertisement during your visit. And in the end, you say goodbye, thank you, please open the door. Oh no, here's some assistance. If you don't find the towels, because maybe it's not so perfectly arranged, if you're tall, you don't see them, here you got the solution with your personal assistant. Thank you and goodbye. But this is just the part of the passenger. And now we're coming to part of the airline and the crew, because maybe something is missing, you know, to restore the towels, maybe they're empty, so they get the information to refill. Or, as I just said before, maybe you calculate really the usage rates. Maybe there are too many lavatories on board. Maybe you can reduce. Maybe you can optimize your lavatory, put more seats in. All that you have now lots of data. Today you have nothing available. Of course, maintenance, predictive maintenance. Is there something broken? You fill it in, it's automatically stored. It's in your predictive maintenance system. So you can all do the health monitoring. A lot of things possible in terms of optimizing the efficiency of the operation if you control the data and the supply chain. So starting with the availability check until the voice control, smart assistance from the crew, and report to ground, and finally, even an ancillary revenue potential in the laboratory. So this is the vision, not saying this will be realized soon. At least we see a lot of potential to also apply a connected version of the laboratory for the future. So summarizing the connected experience, it's really about connected smart elements in a standard backbone and enable via the data that we collect future personalized services for the airline and for the passenger. And for us, it is simply, I would say, a widening of the approach that we have already in place from Skywise. And maybe you heard about Skywise, at least you found a nice label from Skywise here. This is about the aircraft level. And we do exactly the same thing on an aircraft level. And what you see here is that we collect per aircraft today 40,000 parameters. It means about 30 gigabytes per day per aircraft that we can collect, that you can use and compare it to your fleet or the global fleet in order to optimize the operation of the aircraft. So Skywise is the aircraft level. The connected experience is the cabin level for that, in order to also do here the predictive maintenance and improve the efficiency of the overall fleet. Skywise established 2007. Within 2 years, we got 50 customers and 4,000 aircrafts in operation, and soon we have 10,000 aircraft, which you can use as a pool to compare your own data for your aircraft flying. Finally, last slide, because I think I run out of time already. Not far from here in the future, soon, in beginning of April, we have the Hamburg Expo, the Interior Expo, and we will really release more. We will have a demonstrator on the connected experience, and we also will announce partners in terms of the ecosystem to make it more tangible. Again, we also have been inspired in terms of a Vision 2030, also by the connected cabin that will be revealed on the Expo, in order to really connect the dots and provide a better experience for the future. And that's about it, what I want to overall give you as a short intro in our topic. And let's stay connected. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingo. 1 or 2 short questions. What is available in the audience? Coffee? Tea? I think need some coffee for the break, but I have one question. You were talking about integrating partners into the system when you showed us the slide the first time, what is all available actually in data in the cabin. What kind of partners do you think of? Outside the airline world?
Actually, as an OEM, we're an integrator. So that means we provide a backbone, and everybody can connect to the backbone. And we need partners everywhere. So we need partners, what you saw for the lavatory, because we're not doing our lavatories ourselves. We need partners for the galley. We need partners from the catering. We need big data companies. You know, we need everything from creative new ideas and startups up to the real product hardware suppliers. We need all to be part of that open ecosystem.
So you're extremely open-minded concerning this topic.
Yeah. What do you mean by concerning this topic?
Well, of course, I will finish saying here is someone to partner with. And
absolutely.
Ingo, thank you very much.
I'm really open to everybody. If you have either good ideas, what we should add, or become part of our ecosystem that we are just launching. It's not officially launched, as I said. It's a concept that we develop in the moment, but I think the next step is following soon.
Thank you very much for presenting this unofficial concept officially at the Hamburg Aviation Conference.
My pleasure.
Thanks.